Good evening. Thanks for joining us. The Electoral Commission maintained 18th of August 2020 as the official date to begin its biometric voters registration exercise across the country. But until this, the Electoral Commission has been hit with procurement irregularities by Imani Africa. The civil society organization has accused the company, Thales Gilmatos, which won the contract to supply the equipment to EC, as not in good standing. Other civil society groups, like Assin, have added their voice, disclosing same detailed findings that Thales Gilmatos has been found guilty in South Africa for bribing the former president, Jacob Zuma. Tonight, we probe further. Is the Electoral Commission suffering from integrity crisis on the upcoming exercise? All these and more coming up tonight on the Seed Show. Welcome viewers here and around the world. I am Kweku Annan, and this is the Seed Show, airborne live from this very studio here in Accra, the headquarters of Ken City Group of Companies. We are live on Sources Radio, Amansan FM, and of course we are live on Amanade Radio. All these dozens of radio stations and television stations scattered across the globe, and you can join us live on Facebook and YouTube. Net2 TV GH, Net2 TV GH, and Hawk TV GH. Let's get started. 14 minutes gone past the hour 8. From this very studio here in Accra, and of course, great guys producing this show tonight. I have George Sarkody, of course, that is Focus. Kwesi Nielsen is on board. Great Safo, Kenneth Nanatechi, Agyapong. Great guy. All these guys on board. Theophilus Norte, editor at large, Fifi connecting from New York. Ebusia, Ejando, of course. Yes, all these guys. Robert Bafo Ando, ono aso ne free Ejando. Women eta mechime imremidi programming bro. Midiane Kweku Annan. This is the Seed Show from this very studio here in Accra, all over the world, connected from the western region to eastern region, central region, Ashanti region, and all regional capitals in the country and across the world. Babia womo afa. Mi jidisa onwe 11th March 2020, the year of our Lord. Imri. Hey, and some group no so doso. And some no doso. Papa. Neni na so ye ba behwe ehwo asem. Na ya kane de ye atu ye kama na kire se enioma etimi adeda se de se ededa kama ate enti de meka kire wa na se gina ye na hwe se bibia ye ba be bia no ebeto ye na asomdwe etimi aba. The Electoral Commission maintaining the 18th August 2020 is the official date for the biometric registration exercise. As some Electoral Commission say 18th of August, Bosumi de Toswa Eba, Toso Mienuno, the 18th, and as a biometric registration exercise on Ebebaso. Say an Electoral Commission ama Yason Atie. Na de omo kan se nya de omo twen asan na nya de nso omo ko omo chi sa date omo de be ye dwuma pepepe. As we wait for this day, civil society groups like Imani, the ononso abeka ho sisi aye, they are from Asipa, etc., have raised credibility crisis here, citing the company I procure equipment Emma Assin from Thales Gilmatos as not in good standing. The ombeso mo kire say Electoral Commission womo atrase ema wono afrefre companies as our companies wono abase ombe boama Electoral Commission equipment so the edwuma no with me e de aye edwuma. That is a company na ekwa kras amfidie ni de endorse BVRs de ben all of it bebrebe. We na kire say ye train Electoral Commission ahwe no wetu sa na moyi. Asamo abeto dwa just a couple of days ago. Imani Africa si waye nhwehwemu bi ma sa nhwehwemu no. Ekopie say Electoral Commission company ya all man edi say adwuma here from Thales Gilmatos, a French company. One they are not in good standing. Just say womu just say womu ye company nkekawo bebre wom ho corruption ye de bia bom ebisu so aside say sa company we koye adwuma South Africa wo mo koye no South Africa man pani ana ho ye friend Jacob Zuma womo ekomano bribe ebi su kra site say sa company su kra no koye adwuma ewo European country be from Estonia or so womo koye so mukodi nsamoni bi wo ma ni na te say udni na toto a de omo pese omo kira ne say World Bank a blacklist sa company say ma womo eni dwa emfa ani obia ni nsawoso obia entine eba ne sen en electoral commission for to me masa company e wini sa contract ne e honkeka ho. This is where Imani Africa air drive yards and other civil society group and so air drive yards and some no but however, let me be quick to point out say we have not yet been shown any evidence to collaborate, talk about the facts and all of it. Of course, we agree that this is a developing story. Now, Imani Group, and I say Imani Africa, now, yebemo much evidence maybe to collaborate the facts. Say the air costono and now the omakano nina sanity pepepe. We'll look at all of this. Now, Electoral Commission say 18th Ghana for your 3 time or so obey our exercise. Great. It is obey our exercise no. Na se sia Imani this asemi abeto ho no. De ye bisa ne se enti wo mo be ye dwuma no ana omo nye yenim se Imani for enso other things are wo mo de be challenge Electoral Commission. Say be Electoral Commission kra no say dwuma entimi maso we don't know. Just say it's quite a pretty fluid situation as we can say. But ni na so no ya ye effort to say friend example Electoral Commission in Peninfo and so ebeje pinina omani akasa. Unfortunately Electoral Commission for see more time and that pretty soon enche wo mo ebe respond appropriately e was and sem na e kwosuni na nyese o ma chicken out at all nti bibi gina no ensem ni na no ye hope say eniama ebe de ye na atoto ye kama nti this is where Electoral Commission any Imani get crossed the Electoral Commission at the crossroad. Now tonight in Peninfo ebesi nkunya ewo ha na yetimi ahwe se de ensem no esi eti Peter entry buesi akoya aspiring MP ma efija Kwabre North Constituency of Science Engineer representing the diaspora English Abruchirimumu London. He's in the house. And then Patrick Stevenson, Head of Research, Imani Center for Policy and Education. Yes, Kennedy Kwame Akompreko Agyapong will pass through assembling Enna Ora Kennedy Betuga. Well, Ora Kennedy say he has something to discuss as far as Osofuya. I don't know say so a prophet Bedukobi. Wakakan sembi eguriem na Ora Kennedy say some responses been able me so or the man then yoma etimi ededena kwemu ebusia eimre enya asem kese ketokra e wo ha say it is a wo hemia and I will timia call a friend to call a friend to call a friend fru bi no bi mfru what be yentimi enche dwumedie no then yoma entimi nkontem den hu say de be entino me bie me WhatsApp line for WhatsApp messages in February thick and fast quick ni entimi kinkan ni na Electoral Commission at the crossroad. Adi asisi a abeto Electoral Commission zui. Ebetimi am Electoral Commission exercise na oba ben vote can say biometric voter registration or between sign ebeko saying yenimu because we do not know much more to that of which Imani we can say they have under their sleeve. Ebeko saying ena ujidi say Electoral Commission yemma ne kwan no ntimi yes exercise in spite of all that call it credibility crisis as they face. And as I saying all these and more tonight. We'll message in what the 0240-550-899. WhatsApp line number 0240-550-899. You're back in kind. Eddie amount now we will say there and you're my ACT. Tonight on Ghana Speaks. Ghana Speaks. Emu. Edu kakra. Na enche Ghana Speaks there. I said neno na me hwen wo kwan bi so say. Side Jumuko ya mebebo mudini, nanche omon na me radar so. But Jack, the way ya nime be air kono. Se yan sheni yan kasa asem ni ntemwa. De debebo mo Imani ehuni. Tonight on Ghana Speaks, we are troubled and disturbed. The facade at Ghana Police Service and the rate at which Some officers of the law have decided to countenance and use their uniforms as a cash cow to extort money from the public. Police officers. Some police officers. Any the rates at which are Mudi Mataria na Mushishanum, any edina edamosuono, some we are officers of the law. No. Na Mudi si syncrofo, hancrofo, womemuhano is getting out of hand. And let me say, my investigative company, the Hawk Agency, have done some undercover exercise on Ghana police. And soon we shall disclose our findings. Yaye Nhwehwemu kakra ewo Ghana Police Service. Na ye to ye boss say ye hwe bibi say ye de bepie na Ora IGP, such a fine man, very distinguished personality, the IGP Ora Opombuenu, and the CID chief Ken Yeboah. These are great guys. We share exemplary order lines cannot pass unnoticed as far as Omutimia Buama security and intelligence. Memu Ekoyi ne Bambo Koya. Na Kwanya a police if only be aye o madwene say Womudie Boni and in some morning kwan on piso mudi wo man anymore. And we are here to appeal to the IGP, the new IGP, to seriously look inside out of the police service to ensure proper policing, effective policing, professional policing, and excellent policing, if there is. Na bad ones, ni bad nuts no woman. Because we had the police administration. Seriously. It's becoming like, say, a perception. But I tend to differ from this angle, say. There is some iota of truth in it. If perception here can. That among the security services, talk about why? Fire service, prison service, immigration, customs, the military, police, the BNI, among all of them. I am to say, the police is most extremely corrupt and very corrupt. When we are very, very corrupt. Just every little money beer, some police officers I imagine say, so sikaneti say obeji di ashenibotum. But if you look around other security services, who sa nyoma we say, womu eye enyoma etete sa. Na mentia say ntia a police for minim say eye care so say ye dienyo. No matter what the issue is, if the police officer no, a binima on what say, Sikano, Ketu Okesio, and say Konebotum. And I tell you this, Ghanaians, a lot of adjudications have suffered major setbacks, not because of lack of evidence, but because some police officers meant to corrupt the cases and abuse social justice and rule of law. Assembly wonwa, besi na yeni case ni yo. And yes, because you need evidence, you did the case no. And yes, evidence you know, evidence will hop. But sa police officer na oye on the beat, why not doing say case, as I say what Daniel Asam no entanchia, ubu asemnity, no why asam no basa, edebe because he could be a be free mu aba. Adintia. There are cases upon cases, metimia cite and adrene ya exercise we are to a massa, ye bieswa hupao. Very scary. A quanya police for edin sem winima dear. Most of the police cells are Ghana, and I know IGP, he's aware of this. Most of the police cells, when we use cells as a cash cow, the people go there. See, a do be at temporarily for some hours, not more than 48 hours near see releasing the panel. When we sell so honorable, I say, Sikajijie, Ubetia 200 Ghana, 300 Ghana, sometimes to the tune of 500 Ghana, and see Unipanum and Apiako. Some police commanders, when we did some of these police posts, and when we said one, we have them covered. Now, my name is Sentia. Just a lot more of our police officers. There are fine police officers also out there. But bad ones, far outweigh good ones. Now, a lot of cases be braced. See what police administration anymore. who check a case which is a Nanama Martins cocaine case. Go and read the report. Quite fast one Nanama Martins cocaine case was brought to an abrupt end. It ended abruptly. Serious case. A quite prosecutors this our case in the fast. That case did not see the light of day. Nina is because of quite police officers by your Madrid say. Woman do sa woman nine and won't be regular cases. But so upon bueno, yes, salute papa because we a great officer. CID chief, Ora Kenya Boa, so a very great guy. Name yes, Remo, Mumo Diana, Mumputu, strict measures be our administration. Na Emma bad ones no woman. See a report to Mamma, so I'm sure say, Mube you win every honor. Because they are bad, a lot of bad people. Our police services, too bad and too wicked. Assin be omo person mo bebre na your madrin say so mo say. Adenta police we munya bote ye beba mo so enche. Yes, some serious corruption be akoso. Police officers are GG's Canady. Na mo yesa na mo de omani air kwose. 30 minutes gone past the hour 8. You're watching the 2TV and the program is The Seat live on all affiliate stations. Nina Askata Ewo has WhatsApp messages, what the beba 0240-550-899. Nebe kinkanina ediama February Electoral Commission yaman kwamani nyene jumano. CCA ye can say it looks as though the Electoral Commission is working on the path of the credibility crisis. Well, should they ignore all that Imani is bringing in as if one now so say one more day they should hold on, which is which. We are the crossroads, the Electoral Commission exercise, and same people bound. Ebusiamino Kase, Edumekwe 21st Clinic, I am in country say, or become a program and into a major sponsor. I was like, you know what? Yaria Hudwa, Chinchin, we are saying, say coronavirus and COVID-19, and as for a young radio. But maybe some back on our body Roma Ghana for to me ba let me to me some yaria come 21st century some country say over bano her services no dey ma or ma laboratory services ultrasound scan machine will be or would be do hudumate no ma massage any physio papa bi atutwu ni pedua no e ma ho ato or say obey proper food combination anapa eduane obedi ewia eduane obedi any imre eduane obedi we no say obehye ni na ama weduane die no anya basabasa wate na osehwe yare bi ti say akasi o manage osu o tuni na ase bi ti say fertility and sexual problems, diabetes, hypertension, stroke, pains under buttocks and legs yawo ewo nenim ne onan ase or see there be a burning sensation in the foot and the body ahunam tutuo ni na obehwe no we from ho at all, chronic body pains, waist and bones pains ni na otu efri ho, typhoid fever etc ni na oye from ho to wate na o se me kan say wo ba na wa hwe obehwe wo na wasan so diagnosis na wasan so administer drugs at the amount or see ni na men country say we 25% out of it 25% discount we yi free honum say the ho ebeto wate eni December ko say oba hospital ho so a or say Wi-Fi, free Wi-Fi we provide or until say ukuta smartphone say all the laptop cry na buy up or say connect my Wi-Fi na now we then o browser free of charge or news kawate or ye dwuma Monday to Saturday obi hospital anapa shishi 7 o'clock a.m. no we be no upon emre nonum ube locate 21st Clinic our Dome Markets within the Heavy Dew building. Who do Dome Markets are a Heavy Dew building enumu and a 21st Clinic or the branches nso we are seeing fanabe bia okoye Kumasi amu Kumasi na Ashanti region obi wo ho Sunyane Bronga Hafo Brekum Sehri ni na ebi wo contacted 21st Clinic in term or china pa ena mo abrochiri so mo contact them ene wo mutimi di nro no efa courier service near the abremo na mo saka obenya no 0246 616161 and 0540 311 311 Mrs. 0546 616161 and 0540 311 311 abefo fidie no so internet www.21stclinic.com ubenya no ho na oni no edi nkomo na enioma adedana kwemo kama just about 33 minutes gone past the hour 8. You're watching The Seed Show on Net 2 TV. with Kweku Annan. And tonight, your responsibility and say Electoral Commission at Crossroad. Yes, Electoral Commission has been cited by civil society groups. Say, hey, because they are woman air, no, and you may be in irregularities be near their okay in their procurement and as for your site company sales Gilmato say woman and a procure and your man ama woman san your main nano and your man ankoye e me two guests I ready me no more ever be dim come right away yes shall see Peter Entry Siakon aspiring MP for Ifija Quabre North Constituency or sanso a engineer of course coming from London, and Patrick Stevenson, head of research, Imani Center for Policy and Education. One more ewo studio has it. Now, ye better than common ya yetimi do. WhatsApp messages making kind of amount 0240-550-899. Na ya kinkai ni na ede amount na enyama etimi. Ade that na kwemo. Come. Mame enkinkai messages. The first batch of message na. Abana quick nefi me guest no enye ready me yeni enkomo no Sami C Jose Kwekwan and watching you live from China. I salute you. Razor say radio exposed talk about NDC evil plot against the EC and the day of registration. So good evening senior, coming from Nana Safo in China. Stay awake for this show. It's 4:16 a.m. Thursday here already. Edu Emmanuel, say good evening, Daddy, good job watching you live from Italy. And then Moshe baby, Henry Niakwonsi, you are a deputy. No, we am say message, data message. You know, me too, yes. And so me do messages, you know. Eddie about quick, near to me. I can kind na Eddie amount as soon as possible. Na enyama added nakwemu. Program Mekai say ubetimi so ahwe Facebook Net2 TV GH Net2 TV GH and also benyan wo Hawk TV GH and also ko YouTube no so Net2 TV GH uko YouTuber sisi ameka say we are streaming live ewo YouTube Net2 TV GH na nina no omobehwe na enema added na kwemu the amount. His Excellency the President of the Republic Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo Amayati as say we issue a statement as our statement teacher said. Oh, share the way coronavirus air natural say prim you know as I said Ghana ya hwi kakra because yan careful the debeba no ensem no ebehu and this year His Excellency issue statements yes through the Chief of Staff. Say government officials, municipal, district chief executives, and high-ranking government officials who biano muntren kakra na mamunye ntutu kwanam ni ade. Yes, because yem peses ayare ebeden ebetimi ayden ama enyoma ade ohawbi ede abrɛn. Enti de all can say mun penifo ina no munye den mo and what atweniemu kakra because we share the news by the hour and more particularly when you watch the just say ano u hwemu a na just say every Ghanaian no just say so person just say Ghana for krana you hold on kakra with travels around the world. I don't know where you want to go. Obeso ko Asia, Europe, America and now for what I'll see and so kakra. Na enyama intimidated na kwemazi because the rate at which I ushered the international wires reporting the news by the hour, Al Jazeera, CNN, BBC, ABC, and so for Jack, it's quite harrowing, very disturbing. Na yempese Ghana or how be abe buyer so only the amateur no na enyama intimi ended na kwemo. All right, now we are set to move in the studios of Net2 TV. 38 minutes gone past the hour. 8 WhatsApp messages near back and kind Eddie amount. February as soon as possible. Now, Imani Africa bi. Na mami ready sa krate na MI overview of the situation any BBI. However, let me be quick to say that Electoral Commission say nyadia womo ebe responded to and it may be any time soon until further notice. We still hope say yes they will get connected and then Yebehun said Imani or say we reiterate call to EC not to compile new register. One more reason is saying, take a listen. Imani Africa, a policy think tank, has urged the Electoral Commission (EC) to reconsider its position on acquiring a new electoral system, software, and the compilation of new voters register for 2020 general election. Mr. Bryce Simmons, the Vice President of Imani, claims there has been heightened interest in the warring conduct of Ghana's electoral management body, the Electoral Commission (EC), supposedly clothed with an unsurmountable constitutional power to evade critical scrutiny from its stakeholders. The EC opened itself up for many civil society organizations and individual civic actors to appraise its conduct the more, especially for their very wild financial claims of saving the country millions of dollars by procuring what has now emerged to be the most expensive, unverified, and unnecessary biometric system since Ghana adopted the technology. Otoas was a PowerPoint presentation will respond to the ECs, which was presented to the public and demonstrate, among others, that the EC has blatantly and consistently lied. There's a strong word here. Take a listen to it carefully. Or say, and that's the operative word connecting to down the message, Or say, a PowerPoint presentation would respond to the ECs, which was presented to the public and demonstrate, among others, that the EC has blatantly and consistently lied about the true facts of the current biometric system and its ongoing effort to procure a new one. B, the EC's claims that it would cost just 56 million US dollars to procure a new system, whilst the cost of refreshing and maintaining the existing one would cost 74 million US dollars, are untruths. C, a sham tender recently completed by the EC has revealed that the EC plans to spend 72 million US dollars on hardware alone. Imani believes that by the time software and service are added, the total cost for technology alone would amount to 85 million US dollars. D, compared to a limited registration to capture just those not on the voters register, a fresh mass registration shall cost 50 million US dollars. Refreshing the existing technology at competitive price would cost just about 15 million US dollars. Imani Editwaso has said, hence the total loss to Ghana, Tihao, or see the total loss to Ghana of the EC's actions amount to 150 million US dollars if one factors in contingency. If the fact that thousands of perfectly good equipment shall be thrown away is also considered, the total loss rises. F, but economic cost is not the only thing to be worried about. The EC also boggled the procurement process, leaving a trail of evidence suggesting tender rigging. This has opened the process to litigation and delay. J, the EC used one day to disqualify well-qualified bidders, claiming that they had reputational problems when the vendor it's awarded the tender to, after 1 day of evaluation, fails, and its Gemalto unit has even bigger scandals hanging over its head. In fact, it was once globally blacklisted by the World Bank. H, the EC's tender process were so bad that the chairman of the technical evaluation panel disassociated himself from the results, forcing the EC to discard a 4-month process and compress it into a 1-week evaluation. The company on whose behalf the tender was being manipulated is the only one whose score tally doesn't add up. The EC insists that you must accept that 85 plus 13 equal 10104 instead of 98. At any rate, the time frame for negotiating a proper contract, designing better specifications to correct the many things the EC claims are wrong with the existing system, securing procurement approvals, interesting in integrating disparate software and hardware systems from different vendors, and deploying and testing the platform cannot be fitted within the EC's artificial timeline of April 18th, 2020 for the commencement of the registration. The last one I'll say, the proposed mediation process by Gami and Co. Alternate Disputes Resolution Center is wise and must be considered by all parties. Imani Africa. In the studios, yawo impinifwe wa ha wamo ebi yinsem ni bi ede amaye. Mamensha say wa Patrick Stevenson, Head of Research, Imani Center for Policy and Education. Patrick, mwakwaba.
Kwagu.
Now what is saying?
Pajo me hoye
pa. Great. Next to him Peter Entry-Boisiakon no so no ye obe contest ama Efijia Kwabre North Constituency Osansi engineer also represented the diaspora. Then Nedi and some ebeshi papa. Also be joining discussion. Of course, it's going to be an interactive into WhatsApp messages. What the Bebantem. What do you make of all the current brouhaha and also the state in which the Electoral Commission are finding that credibility crisis as Imani raises all the pointers and the issues. A bit Myanmar Electoral Commission exercise but then we believe that Imani has what it takes to advance the discussion. Patrick, Mona Sisia Mode Asemna Beto Eponoso. Electoral Commission, should we say yes, they are suffering from some credibility crisis? Yes, no.
I wonder why you start the conversation from whether or not the commission is suffering from some credibility crisis. But I think the evidence is out there publicly, right? So
we still haven't seen any evidence yet.
Well, I mean, so it's an enraging public debate, which is what I would suspect right from get-go the country should have been engaged in. The fact that the Electoral Commission is, for the want of a better phrase, independent, doesn't necessarily suggest that whatever actions, because whatever they do, the taxpayer pays them. Indeed, Supreme Court decisions are subject to judicial review. So much as the Supreme Court is independent, there are still, interpretations that people can give to that level of independence. But I think, sir, to respond more specifically to your question, I mean, there are very important questions that as civic actors we are asking, and we think that Ghanaians need answers to. The inability of the Commission to provide clear-cut answers to these questions in the face of incontrovertible evidence, some of which are the Commission's own reports, some of which are reports that have gone to Parliament, some of which are reports by global institutions that are involved, some one way or the other, I mean directly or indirectly, to the entire process for procurement, for instance, are very worrying, developments. I mean, you don't start a procurement process in a conversation like this. Chairman of the Entity Tender Committee leaves. I'm sure we're going to get into the details of those, and I'll probably establish them once again. Chairman of the committee leaves. An entire process will take you 4 months before that chairman leaves for reasons known only to the commission and the chairman. Well, so then it means we are getting into the details. No? Yes, sir. Okay. Yeah. So I think the crux of the issue is the Electoral Commission by and chair say for 2020 elections. I was also in Fidie, and then you might have conducted elections. Names of the devices, names, software, hardware, and I call it very complex for a lot of people to understand. But the easiest way I can put it for you to follow the conversation. And there's laptop, laptops, phones in your software near the edge. Conceptualize it like that. Maybe what is a camera is a whole studio at the edge. Now camera, phone, a bob, and if you didn't printers. And then your manner is in it. Our to be idea elections over the years. Now the argument of the EC, at the heart of that argument, they said from 2011, equipment I told idea 2012 elections, and the total stock a little over 8,000. But near 2011, we haven't changed them. And based on recommendations from the people that provided the equipment, after a certain period of time, the equipment's become obsolete. Obsolete, I say, I see. Now, it's an argument, I was here tuning yakni. Now, you're tough near software for near so a data of registration for people who conduct elections. And we understand that number is between 17 or 17.5 million people. Near Sai and in Yafufo. And no, Yashema ni who said, I mean, you mentioned an operational word that we suggested the Electoral Commission may have told lies. Well, lies because of the evidence that is available. And if you just permit me, I'll go through some of them. It is not true.
And per statement, the Electoral Commission lied somewhere.
So I'll provide you the evidence for you to know whether it is true or not.
You also back it said that word used by Imani.
In the presence of that, of course, I'm head of research at Imani, so how am I going to dissociate myself with the work that I've been extensively involved in? The point is, the commission says since 2011, they haven't made any procurement of equipment, and because they haven't made any procurement of additional equipment, what we have are obsolete. That cannot be accurate, because per documents regarding the operations of the Electoral Commission, and the Electoral Commission, it doesn't operate in a vacuum. Finance Ministry have the guidelines, not the Akwakoto. So disbursements from Ministry of Finance to the Electoral Commission for the procurement of equipment, we have seen reports that shows procurements were made in 2016. Additional procurement about 2,000 DVR and BVDs. Like I said, just think of all of these equipment as laptops and mobile phones that are required for that particular exercise, right? You have extra 2,000 equipment in 2018, and these equipment were used. So if in the presence of that evidence, you suggest somehow that since 2011, no additional equipment have been procured, I'm sorry, that cannot be accurate. That has to be a lie.
San Electoral Commission catch them.
Yes.
That
by the electoral, so the Electoral Commission, as a result of this conversation, in fact, when it started,
was it through some correspondence?
It's not. It's the Commission's own publication to the public. Document or more presser, no my PowerPoint presentation. Some of that PowerPoint presentation went to a lot of the media houses. Or a PowerPoint presentation providing a justification for why we needed to make these investments. And in that presentation, the Commission suggested, said, since 2011, devices are a toy. We haven't refurbished them. We haven't made any investments in them. They are obsolete. And so they needed to be replaced. That's why we had to throw all of it away and buy new ones. And we are saying that if the communication from Ministry of Finance, we want to believe finance, unless, of course, between finance and the commission, somebody is not telling the people of this country the truth. But if we want to lay credibility on the quarters of the finance of the Ministry of Finance, then something is clearly not accurate coming from the Electoral Commission, because Omajiska, in some cases, in 2016, say no, $4 million alone. These are documents from Finance Ministry, right? And this is purely for the Electoral Commission's work, right? Now, breakdown numbers were 2 documents, if you Ministry of Finance. BVR kits that were replaced in the year 2017. What was that? $0. Yeah, and Toby.
Yeah.
2018, we bought 2,000 pieces of that equipment. And this is what went from the Electoral Commission. To year 2009, we had even budgeted to buy an extra 1,500 of these equipments. And the breakdown
so
of cost. This. Yes. So talking about this document that was put out, right? The breakdown of the cost associated with that investment is what you have here. So in 2016, right? You see that on the 8th of February, the very first line item, supply of biometric voter registration kits, components, and ancillary services. What you have there from the value that was quoted about $4.3 million. But we have sufficient information to suggest that even this is an underestimation, because the value that we have now is about $8 million.
So per all this table, what is it that Imani, your problem with the Electoral Commission per these things?
Yeah, but the point and the reason, the rationale for this particular data set is that the commission cannot on justifiable grounds in the presence of this evidence suggest equipment in here from 2011. It's not true. You bought some equipment in 2016, you bought some in 2018. So even if we are to assume, say indeed the equipment that we have, some are obsolete now, it will make perfect sense to suggest, for example, say, okay, near 2016 to 2018, we have just used them twice. In fact, they may just be about 4 years old.
But Imani, most of my research to know, so these equipments, what duration in terms of operations, it is from when to when. And then to come to believe the Electoral Commission to use the word obsolete. Does that synchronize with the facts, Imani?
No, the question you are asking is a completely different conversation that we can have outside of this. And I'll get to that. what the least life cycle of an equipment like that
do
should
you
be,
know
right?
equipment all these equipments you are working now these days do you have data about them?
The devices, of course. I mean, these are publicly available information.
Yeah, public information.
Yes.
Equipment, make equipment,
the BVRs and
exactly.
the BVs.
Yes. Data on them.
The specifications, of course.
The one that was procured in 2016 and all the data, Muhammad showing now. More data about them.
Yes.
Have you been finished by the electoral commission?
Yes. Well, the commission has been very economical with the sort of information that they put public.
So then it means whatever you have still stands.
Yeah, but this is information that came from Ministry of Finance. We are not manufacturing this.
Okay.
That's the point.
Great.
And to the extent that this has gone to finance, what it presupposes is that the budget went to Parliament, it was approved. There's a budget oversight committee in Parliament that saw that these investments were made. And so without even having gone to look at the actual specifications of the machines, which I'm saying is a completely different conversation we can have. Without having looked at the specifications of these machines, the evidence suggests that we got money to buy additional equipment. Let's not even get into this, whether the equipment are fine or not. So the argument that from 2011 to date, we haven't bought new equipment cannot be true. It can't be accurate. And that's the point. Now, if we are able to even agree to that, then it presupposes that the idea that somehow we must throw all the equipment away cannot necessarily be the right argument for a procurement.
The electoral commission don't go and procure new machines.
No.
Notwithstanding that you even want to conduct fresh exercise.
No, well, fresh exercise does not require that you go and procure new machines. And even the conversation around the fresh exercise is a completely different thing we can talk about.
Because Imani, baby, Patrick, if I understand Imani for Mumujina say one, don't buy new machines and two, don't conduct any fresh exercise to register Ghanaians, correct?
Absolutely. And so, if you just permit me again,
now let's do some shift shaping here.
Right.
Let's assume say okay, into new equipment, but we are going to do fresh exercise. What is Imani saying here?
Well, so if you are not going to buy new equipment, but you want to do a completely new registration exercise, again, from a public policy point of view, you're going to have to justify why you need new voter registration.
Is the Electoral Commission bounded by law to get this exercise done?
To get what? To get the new
that exercise per their rules and regulations.
Again, we have to be very careful how we interpret the positions of the law.
What do you know?
What the Electoral Commission has is a mandate to be independent.
Great.
It does not suggest that in that independence, the Electoral Commission can't justify to the people of this country how it's going to spend their money. I mean, that is not done anywhere, right? Even the highest decision-making body in this country justifies why budgetary allocations have to go to Parliament, for example. Even what is taken to the judiciary, we have justification for it. So the idea that we won't buy new equipment, but somehow we must make additional investments in procuring a new data set. You have to justify why that data is not sound, and that data is not clean, that data doesn't make sense.
Madriam said Electoral Commission so far won't justify enough. What's Imani? They're justifiably enough.
Well, the reasons they have provided are not reasons that are sound to anybody that is equally following the conversation.
You're interrogating.
The data that exists is data that is not clean.
Great.
And it can't use that data for organizing
elections.
So our argument is that regardless of the challenges with that data set, there are systems for seamless migration of data. So even if you want to clean the data, for example, there are tools today that helps you clean that data. You don't throw that. Let me give you a typical example. And the banking crisis here, of course, so now unim nipadodo transaction history. The number of people with bank accounts, their transaction history, that had to be seamlessly migrated onto one platform for that bank or consolidated bank. Do you have an idea? That's large volumes of data. We migrated seamlessly. So the point is that the idea that somehow you may have challenges with the existing data set because let's say the voter register is overbloated or there are new people that you have to register onto the voter register, etc. It's not enough justification to say let's throw the entire data set away. It's not sufficient grounds, particularly within the time frame we have. If you had started this conversation at the beginning of 2017 to tell us, say, okay, guys, 2020 we have elections. We think there are ABC issues with the results that we got from with the data sets that we used for the elections in 2016. And so this is a plan we are working towards cleaning that up. And so we'll have a registration. I mean, that sounds fine. But to say all of a sudden you are going to register 17 million people within a period of 4 months before the elections in itself is...
It's not adding up home.
But it doesn't gel up.
Great. So that means Imani more problem with time frame, but not necessarily the exercise is justifiable or not.
The exercise itself.
Okay.
Right.
Hold it there, Patrick. Maybe also shortly now. Just about a minute to the hour 9. We'll share Netu TV. The show is the seats. I am Kwekwan and I'm a guest. Yeshana Yade Electoral Commission in Semi ACC ye papa. My member Peter. So Peter. Yetie their Stevenson, they are two there. The preamble, no, they are two. No. It's like we open case now here, the floodgates for the justification. Say, hey, electoral commission, patrol, answer. One, they are not even talking about say exercise and say about time frame in na kahua. Actually say, muntimi spending Ghana for sika. Pudu etisi. Empire their right up no so. We provided. In every pre waha, say electoral commissions did intro a whole lot of stuff. Yeah, you are coming from a well-informed position as an engineer, a procurement officer, and all of that. A man of many parts. Peter, Utiedia, Stevenson Akanwa. Does that inform you? Say yes, we have to go along with Imani.
Kwaku meta super na Stevenson.
Yes.
Akwaba. You see, Ghana. Ye jiji nipa bi so ema omo gin hini ema edu mebia na aye se omo kasa it was obi fa by force. They portray themselves as the repository of all wisdom, and for that matter when they speak that must be it. Everybody must take it. And that is how Imani wants to portray themselves to Ghanaians, that when they speak, that is all. Everybody must.
But only civil society groups.
And so
almost more for democracy.
We are talking about credibility. And let me start from there. The issue we are dealing with here is exposing Imani so badly that by the time I finish going through this, you will know that Imani, they have become talkative and noise makers, nothing else. In fact, the title on them, on Imani, as a think tank, I don't think they deserve it at the moment.
Oh.
Because I have followed them for quite a long time now, on so many issues. And on this EC new register matter, our position on this, is making them lose serious credibility.
Really?
I'm telling you, I'm going to go through it. And you know,
but they are civil society group. Look, and the constitution is
they don't deserve it. I think they are becoming empty tanks. They are not think tanks anymore.
I don't think so.
Let me explain it to you. You see, I started following them from 2012. And when you talk about think tank, when they make a position on issue, it should be very difficult for you to even be able to challenge the position. But they're not at that level yet. Compared to some of the think tanks that are only internationally recognized. And we're talking about a think tank highly recognized in Ghana. And for that matter, when they make a position on issue, it just said it's difficult for everybody to
punch holes and okay.
Let me start from somewhere, and I'll come to this. From between 2011, 2012, I had a call election.
Yeah.
Look at the position of Imani on free SHS promised by Nana Addo Akufo-Addo. The position of Imani consistently has been that the introduction of free secondary school in the country is not feasible. It is unfeasible. That is the position. In fact, they have issued 32 statements stating that the feasibility of free secondary school introduction in the country is not something we can afford. We can't do it. That is the position of Imani. And we're talking about a think tank. Today, free secondary school is one of the programs. If you're seeing and the think tank says it can never happen. Look at Nigeria. didn't crack home, introduce you, sir, double track method.
Yeah.
Did you hear the comment by Imani? They say that is the laziest man's approach. It's
the word laziest.
That is it. That's the position of Imani. And that is not only. Yeah. You see, when you're a think tank, and you have a position on issue, you must present yourself so much that man for everyone's away credible. And I know Communication Ministry wanted to introduce a common platform to monitor all the telecommunications companies in Ghana.
Okay.
Say, Obia where you call Biano, you should be able, with the communication company, you should be able to let the government know how much revenues you're making, so that you'll be able to pay a realistic tax on your revenue. Imagine force nah, this is not a good thing. And they were in the position of the telecommunication companies defending themselves. Oh, my young introduces anyway. Now, you know, I love this woman, Osla. I say, we are introducing this. If you want, take us to court. We'll meet you there. And that woman met them there at the Supreme Court. Imani took the Ministry of Telecommunication to the Supreme Court. And look at what happened. They disgraced themselves. The Supreme Court threw their case out. And you're talking about Imani. Imani.
Anyone monitor much?
I have monitored them for a long time. Recently, there was an issue at Ministry of Energy. A company called Acre Energy.
Yeah.
Wanted to have a new contract to develop, they call it plan of development for a new site via Omanya. Imani took the Ministry of Energy on and had a press conference in Accra saying, the government of Ghana has committed so many mistakes in that contract and they shouldn't have given that position to Acre to develop that land. Until the Ministry of Energy came out at the press conference explaining to the whole world and showing, Imani, as someone can come on here. And we are talking about a think tank. So I say, the issue we are talking about the new register.
Yeah.
It has 3 sections.
Great.
It has the common sense aspect of the whole issue, and then technical aspect of the whole issue, and the political aspect. You see, we are expecting Imani to at least demonstrate some kind of common sense in this matter, but they are not showing it. And this is for the enemy say common sense, almost like that. And this lacks common sense in everything. Well, everybody knows that. When it comes to technical aspect, Imani should have consulted with somebody who knows, at least has the technical knowledge to explain things to them.
The possibility is almost more technical men in there.
Master, I have followed them, and if you read the understanding in the whole issue,
content-wise,
technical issue, woman,
oh, okay.
And then NDC is playing the political football with it. Common sense, they lack it. They don't understand the technical issue aspect of it, but they want to play politics with it. And that is the issue. And Imani has today lost the position of a think tank. They are nothing more than a political pressure group. That is what they are. They are just political. You see, the people who work for Imani, they are not a repository of all wisdom. Okay. University no going. So if they manage to have the platform to speak to issues, they shouldn't think that and for that matter, when they speak, we should all take it. Look, let's go into this. The register that we are saying, it is bloated, first. It is not credible, secondly. And it is not helping the country. And I'm going to go into it.
Great.
Yeah. This register was conducted in 2012.
Yeah.
As soon as you re-register now, when the register was compiled in 2012, look at the argument that have been advanced by Can't say, oh, I enjoyed it.
Great. Okay. Behind the scenes here, Nina Abashono.
Yeah, that can't say.
Yeah.
Now, you see, 2012, when this register was compiled, look at the position of Imani today. Imani started with the argument, say, Sikana Yadebaya register no. It is too expensive. And when they came out with the figure, the Electoral Commission then came out with the statement saying, register na yebeye no, enye register no kwa o. Yebeye database for Electoral Commission, and then buy new equipment and compile new register. And the total cost is less than the total amount of money used for the limited registration conducted by the Charlotte Osais administration. Ebra Electoral Commission eba abonten with this fact. Ehwana Imani omobaki off. They never advanced that argument again. And that has been the position now. So they are not making any argument about the cost of the new register. So that's it. Because if the cost for compiling a limited registration was more than 450 million, and the cost of buying new equipment, compiling new register, and putting up a new database is costing less than 400,000. And you're telling me this is not a good thing?
But mathematics is not almost raising, with the figures not adding up.
This is a new one. You see, now, when lose back one, no more jump to another one. They lose it. This is a new issue they are bringing up.
Great, but Peter,
and I will come to that one.
Wait. Let me draw your attention in. With the almost say, hence, the total loss to Ghana of the EC's actions amount to $150 million US. If one factors in contingency, if the fact that thousands of perfectly good equipment shall be thrown away is also considered, the total loss rises.
No,
don't you make sense?
No, we are talking about loss here. Whilst a limited registration.
And this is whooping some.
No. You see, how does it make sense? If a limited registration alone was costing more than 450 million, and the total amount to compile a new register, buy new equipment, put up a new database is costing less than 400,000, and you're telling me the cost of this is more than this amount, what sense does it make? Now, let's go into it. 2012, when this register was compiled, the Electoral Commission, led by Afarijan, held a press conference in Accra. And what he told Ghanaians was that, almost register almost him, almost who said, Nkodato Tofie were minors, and Kwane Gumu. And they were pleading with Ghanaians to come with almost register, minors. No one went there to remove any minors from the register. Those names are still in there. And you know what happened? The limited registration that took place in 2019. They needed new ID, proper IDs with their names and date of birth to be able to open bank accounts and register their SIM cards. So, register, that's the first thing. Secondly, 2015, when this brouhaha was going on, Electoral Commission, led by Charlotte Osei, put up a 5-member committee. And the chairman of that committee was Professor Crabb, the late Professor Crabb.
VCRAC.
Yes. 5-member committee, they came up with their report. And in that report, they stated categorically to the Electoral Commission, say, in almost such, within 4 years, more than 600,000 people have died, and all their names are in the register. So they urged the Electoral Commission to remove the names. Electoral Commission catch the Ghana for say they do not have any means to remove the 600 names. This is 2015.
I see.
Now, let's look at this calculation. 2012 to 2015, 600 people have died and their names are in the register.
Correct.
That was within 4 years. Now, between 2015 and 2020, another, say, 5 years,
Sure.
Let's assume that another 600 people have died.
Hypothetically.
So we are looking at 1.2 million people who have died and their names are still in the register. Now, US, in 2008, they found out that Omo register is bloated by 1.2 million. They threw the whole register away and they compiled a new one.
Wow.
And we are looking at US own population, more than 150 million. They have to throw the whole register away. Ghana's population is about 30 million. And we are not talking about one section, 1.2 million people, hypothetically, are people who have died and their name is in the register. That's one thing. Etosubio, Abu Ramadan took electoral commission to court and said, electoral commission used people who had national health insurance to register to be able to vote in Ghana.
Yeah.
Supreme Court captured Ghana for say those people have to have their names removed from the register.
Exactly.
Now, electoral commission captured Supreme Court say they don't even know the number of people who used national health insurance to register. Dankwa Institute came out with a report, and almost search say about 3 million people used national health insurance to register. This matter was discussed and a ruling was passed at the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court catch said, after 21 days, electoral commission went back to the Supreme Court. And Ghana Supreme Court said they were able to remove less than 2,400 names. And we're talking about 3 million people. And also, another person took electoral commission to Supreme Court, said the 600 names now Omaguno. Electoral commission should remove their names from the register. The Supreme Court agreed and passed orders. Said electoral commission should remove all the names of people who have died. Now, 600 people names, 700,000 names, Electoral Commission, after 21 days again, went back to the Supreme Court and said they were able to remove only 64,000 out of the 600 names.
Wow.
Now, all these are in there. Now, so register can was 2015 and 2016, UK are buying a issue statement saying, Ghana register. This was published by some newspapers in UK and they were copied by Ghana Web and Peace FM, Joy FM. They all published this. Almost say, Ghana's register was bloated more than 1.3 million. That was the headline. And the letter was issued. We also read the letter, we saw the letter issued by the government of UK.
Wow.
And this is Ghana's register. And they can want some know. Now, what can you say? Woma omunye Ghana for Mugumuno. You can't want the trouble thing. Before I come to the technical aspect, the trouble the woman is say, what the register way at Tukwa. Now we are talking about 17 million people who are on the register. Technically, no. So it's about 30 million.
Oh, really?
30 million, yes.
Wow.
It's about 30 million. So between 30 million and 70 million, say you about Ghana. Electoral Commission cannot say on your share 30 million into all your people, I mean, they talk about 30 million. They have to factor in the 17 million.
I see.
All the ghost names. So long as your name is on the register, they have to make provision for you to vote, whether you are dead or alive. So if we have to spend 100 million for the 30 million, we'll end up spending 150 million, including the dead people. They are printing kata.
Wow.
Now look at another issue here. So long as this register exists, any referendum that demands a critical percentage, like the recent referendum, now you hear 40% turnout, and then 75% saying yes or no. This register cannot help us to achieve that. The reason is, anytime I ever trouble you, Nipa beba bontia beto aba no. You have to divide that number by the total number of people on the register. You strike it and find the average. Anunti, si yetu aba wiene strike average na. Si yekasi yenya 40%. Actually, if we are looking at people who are actually alive, it's about 52%. Instead of 40%. Because you divide it by the people on the register. Anunti, so per percentage, we here 40% to pass a referendum in a country, you will never get it because you have to divide the number by the total number of people on the register. That's another trouble. Now let's go to the technical aspect.
Wow.
You see, this is where Imani need to consult with people who have the knowledge.
I do. It's becoming more murky, isn't it?
You see, Imani is all over the map. And you see, they shouldn't portray themselves as if they know better than everybody. They know nothing. When you listen to them, Imani, they have become a bandwagon joiners.
Let's rather put it this way, Peter. Not necessarily say because they can't say they know nothing. It's more or less like injury to their reputation, one way or the other.
If they could tell the Electoral Commission to have lied, looking at they themselves, who don't even
figures, they also think the Electoral Commission is not
because of the lack of understanding in the whole issue. So that's it. Now, Yanko technical issue.
Quickly, not on my response.
This equipment were bought in 2011.
Correct.
To compile the registers in 2012. Anna Supertech SCL are almost and a high warmer. Say almost database. Emma Ghana. Now almost equipment no. It be say almost repair. Almost repair kona after 8 years. And almost Electoral Commission say. Equipment ni be a asegu ho no. Ye pese e repair.
Great.
But your core company na almost ye equipment no ho no. Almost see company equipment na wo say here no. They have discontinued the production of that equipment.
I see.
And until a whole masaya, almost to me, maybe my main fan repair. And on the letter no bread, Electoral Commission.
SCL for
the Electoral Commission. And Electoral Commission feeling knows until what should we do? In other words, they were telling Electoral Commission say the equipment you have there, you have to throw them away. Now, if you look at some machines now, you should know. Polling station piano. Ghana, we have about 29,000 polling stations.
36,000.
36,000 currently, yes. Now let's assume every polling station uses one biometric machine with battery.
Yes.
When batteries are not connected to a constant means of charging, they lose their capacity to hold charges within 5 years. They have a maximum lifespan of 5 years. It's a battery. Unconnecting a constant means of charging them. Now say who use a discharger no charger. Their maximum lifespan is 5 years. After 5 years, they lose more than 50% of their ability to hold charge. And equipment we bought them in 2011. How many years now? Almost 10 years. And sadly, equipment now you use idea registration. Say kasi you use say ya. Time you use no. What charge it lasts for 12 hours. The maximum hours they will last is 5 hours. So technically, if you come to me as a technical person to advise you, I will not advise you to use equipment that will last for only 5 hours. Whilst you're using it to conduct such a national event, to conduct election to select the president of a nation. That's the equipment. Who could use who shall say free 8 o'clock by 1 o'clock? No, it just a battery in now. And this is the problem we are facing. And the company say, "Impo sebase batteries no ye kotofu fra beguma." They have upgraded their equipment.
Yeah.
At the say who use Samsung. Look at the battery that you were using 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Now here's Samsung and you cannot use the same batteries for the old equipment. And won't mean new equipment, no, no, batteries and old ones.
Yeah.
No. Secondly, almost say the old equipment, no, the algorithms now you use the software you use the current software no are not compatible with the old equipment. And even if you're forcing them to upgrade the software, the old equipment are not compatible. You can't add it. You can't add it on the old ones, no. And until you have to stay with the old ones. Old ones, no.
As some no cracks in a hand.
This is where the problem is.
It's quite technical.
Now, another serious issue is this. Almost at the contract in the manner. This XTL, Supertech, they are a foreign company.
Israeli company.
Israeli company. They don't have a base in Ghana. And the code to be able to log into the network to do any changes there, if there is even a problem with electoral commission or database or Ghana, you have to call them to the Israel for them to log in there, and you tell them what the problem is. No man can fix them. That code was not given to any member in the electoral commission. In Ghana, database. We are slaves to that company. Outside, and this code was given to only one person in Ghana. And look at what he did it. He used it for. This code was given to the man called Amadou Sule. According to Charlotte Osei, Charlotte Osei say 2006 in Everton. This Amadou Sule was able to transfer 1,000 registered names from one region to another region. Wow. So how did the person manage to get the code into going to our website? So that one person. And the electoral commission say, we cannot do that. Current Mame Jane. So we need to set up a database.
Control.
Now we a code. Now your team problem by you bit me a survey. Equipment also any papa. We need to upgrade it, and the cost of it is going to be less than amount of money they compile. Limited registration. And Imani has a problem with this. Now, let me come to the final part.
Great.
The political aspect.
Yeah, yes.
And this is for Assin, but the register will be compiled. And this, if they want, you see, when they were in power, they had the nerve to tell Ghanaians, today they are in opposition, and they are telling NPP governments that now, Sabio, Mufi said, and this for me, for.
They are Ghanaians,
no, but Tatam near the name Togo. Tatam near every Mali. Yeah, catch on saying, near if you talk Mali.
Politics.
You see, so if they are in opposition today, they are not providing the money. So almost how power anything. NDC as a party has never won any genuine election in the country. They have always won election based on ghost names.
Great. They've won the elections based on ghost names. 26 minutes gone past the hour 9. Ohene 2 TV. The show is The Seat with Kwekwan and Nebusia. Studio Aye and Sembibre. Imani for having responded to all the issues. But quickly, Mami acknowledges sponsors, and of course, there are lots of sponsors coming, and I need to acknowledge them because someone airborne programming home. Can I say, Ochina a kidney day, kidney. Kidney minim say they can be, but we and a Vicdan, I Healthcare Liver and Kidney Foundations main control here, Dr. Victor Nana Dankwa. Osishano so not because nipa and what tria mobile hospital on them obey mu kidney no examination the bibiam free of charge on the muskawate. Vicdan Healthcare IA Health Facility License under Traditional Medicine Practice Council headed by Dr. Victor Nana Dankwa no semen controls here the arts fitting treaty yari bibri or say any management o treaty asan yari Yarebi to say liver cirrhosis, fatty liver acid, kidney infections, kidney stones, hypertension, diabetes, prostate enlargement, urinary tract infections in men and women, high cholesterol levels, stradia wumu janumnia kumenim, osinina obiye frihoma ho, ato watina sumbriaba also hepatitis B and C, malaria, typhoid, nina otu asie. Yarebi to say sexual transmitted infections, gonorrhea, syphilis, menstrual disorders, and menstrual cramps. Nina obiye for infertility. What emba any memum? I want emba yehu de function. I am to kwa namni ade. Vicdan se bra and tem the ne I wanna ayefo na untime amwa wate. I say any medical conditions ni na no obehwe eho asem e de amot vigilance men kan just ultra modern medical laboratories na so well equipped to obehwe ni na afiso ni jesam ne say hepatitis B or screening free Monday to Friday no Sunday Monday to Saturday obie hospital no anapa 7 o'clock enkosi eimre nonum 5 p.m. na chese wapon na hye no so say hepatitis B ni de Monday to Saturday no o screening free of charge on Yiska wate ubenye ne kira kwan na wakọ no wahwa obedru Achimota mile 7 udru mile 7 and for ni kira Chantan market udru Chantan market obon say signboard ni si Vigdan Healthcare and Liver Kidney Foundation oho enewo wonsabeka doctor e was 054 9951 and 050 2661346 channel so 054 51211 and 050-266-1346. I wrote you from someone contacting it was a separate line with so who are land in America, Germany, or switch your number with 027 3131059 027 3131059 Obejo Sunawashana and your man did not come messages no Jack and what me Maminka Kakrenefi Patrick Emra na omehwe nsemiano enyi yimae radio a shase a free hanum Fred Kwaku or say Kwaku Anan. Not only the policy DVLA takes the money and then they write the test for you. Greta Mains will say EC don't have any problems. What are you talking about? Nana Kwekudi will say the canker is not only with the police force. How about politicians, our civil servants, journalists, etc. Kennedy or say Kennedy Anandas or say today you have disappointed me big time by saying the EC faces credibility crisis, and if I may ask, what's the credibility crisis are you talking about? Hansen Felicia Abla says some policemen have bought themselves motorbikes and harassing drivers around Agbogloshi. Okay, all kind of affairs when the Ghana speaks in the Greta means or say Nana, can we listen to Imani for what upon all the good things President Nado has done? All right, Chilo, or say something. I want to mean who word near. Richard Apio say, watching you live from London. Greetings to your guests, and then experience. May God bless you all. Hope Ghana would be blessed again. All right, my main kind last one we said my businessman say hello, Kweku, watching you from Maryland. Nice program. Charles Nyako, please, EC should ignore these hypocrites and NDC advocates from Imani. Where were you in 2016 during the new voter registration debate? Patrick, gathering from Baby Peter, the DCN, Imani, are you reconciling some of your research?
So it's rather unfortunate. I thought the conversation was going to be about issues around the voter registration exercise.
Yeah.
But the premise on which some of the comments I've heard, I think they're quite sweeping, and it is very, very unfortunate. I've heard Kelny GVG, I've heard Free Senior High School and our positions on the subject. I've heard unintended consequences of policy implementation. I've heard issues around Ake energy and, after the issues of Ake, for example, broke out. And clearly our position on all of these subjects are public, they're known, right? And so again, I don't know the extent to which he has taken the time to at least even read any of those briefs on what it means. Because even conversations around Ake, for example, has implications for current revisions we've had for the petroleum revenue management law of the country. I mean, but I don't suspect that is the focus of the conversation.
Sure.
I'm going to let all of those sweeping comments that have been made, I'm going to let them pass, right? One of your viewers asked, what have we done about the good things that the government, has done? I mean, not too long ago, we had an assessment of the performance of the government. As against the things they said we were going to do before they came into power in 2016, what we do as annual manifesto assessment. In that, everything the government committed to doing that we thought, in our opinion, based on data that existed that they were going to, they've done. We have indicated that. We've had meetings with representatives from Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Monitoring and Evaluation, shared that data, shared insights. People that matter in governance have taken up what needs to be taken up, right? So the idea that somehow we must walk around this country, carry placards and praise governments for doing what they are supposed to do, I think it's very unfortunate. That's not the point. Where rare praise is due, we duly accord it. We equally do annual, assessment of public sector institutions and people that are doing well in there. Not too long ago, again towards last quarter of last year, the National Health Insurance scheme, National Health Insurance Authority scheme, no? Very innovative systems they are deployed for the activity. Almost some SMS-based system that you can now text to renew, the sort of services that have been provided. We looked at and assessed all of that. So where in rare cases where public officials are delivering properly, I mean, you acknowledge them. But the point is that when there are issues like the conversations we're having around the Electoral Commission, come up, I think it's important to have these conversations dispassionately. And when, you make reference to facts, it's important to engage in the facts. I mean, I've heard some very strange numbers here, like $400,000 that is going to cost for the replacement of new register. That, again, is very unfortunate. From the EC's own position, this is not me saying, from the Electoral Commission's own position, and as we speak today, the Electoral Commission systems that it has for managing elections, there are 7 different components. If you just permit me, you have the data devices that we're all talking about. That's one. You have handheld devices that people will use for validation authentication. There's a software part of that component. You have a database which clearly has been a bone of contention. I'm going to get into that and respond to some of the comments I've heard. Then you have a data center that will host the data. You have satellites. Then you have the cameras and other things that come along with the system. The argument is we cannot, and I repeat, we cannot say that each and every one of these components somehow is not good and has to be thrown away. I mean, has the Electoral Commission put public any independent audit of its existing systems to arrive at these conclusions? I'm sorry, not. And again, we keep going back to this 2011 equipments that were bought. Nobody denies the fact that equipment were bought in 2011. Nobody denies that. But the argument that all the equipment that the Electoral Commission holds somehow are fallible and so they must be thrown away is an inaccurate assumption to hold, because records from Ministry of Finance, records from the Electoral Commission suggest they have procured equipment in 2016 and 2018. And if we have problems with these equipment, just these elections we had towards the last quarter of 2019, did you use the equipment? And our utilization rate, even of the equipment, the very first time we used this in 2012, new system, software, hardware, everything, new system is deployed, data from CODEO, data from EU observers, which we have compiled, available to the Electoral Commission, again, suggests that in 2012, failure rate for the utilization of that system, for example, for some constituencies, was about 30%. By the time you're organizing 2016 elections, the failure rate for some areas had reduced to about 7.5%. For the decentralization exercises you organized last year, 5%. So clearly, as a people, in the utilization of the system, you were learning. And that's how software systems that are deployed. I mean, he's an engineer. You should attest to that. That's how software systems all over the world are deployed. Now, when you tell me you are going to procure new systems, look, the system is not built somewhere for you to go and buy. You have specifications as we speak today in this country that the Electoral Commission, if it's doing a due diligence job, wants. Those specifications, as we speak, the software component, we haven't finished the tendering for it. Today. You finish the tendering. How am I supposed to know? That's the Electoral Commission's job. And then tendering.
But more problem with it.
Yeah, but if you are not done now, the elections is in December. Here's the process for procuring a system like that.
And 1 more day.
Obey your tender. You have just finished tender processes for hardware. With all kinds of users around the procurement process. I think I have software. Obey your software. Obey the specifications. You provide specifications, people will go and build the software for you, right? After building the software for you, you test the software. What test the system? The software and then what test the software and then the hardware and then they have supplied. You test it. You get evidence from it. There are issues, you address them. You go and do actual testing in the field. We are actual testing, you are comfortable with it before you eventually go and use it. And you are telling me you have to do all of this before somehow finish what, in August or April? I mean, it just doesn't add up. So anybody who clearly understands the way these systems operate will appreciate that somehow something just doesn't add up.
Has this happened before, this situation we find ourselves in this country, 29 years into our democracy?
You see, when we start talking about the Electoral Commission, I think it's very important. Now, I'll respond to the question. I think it's very important to recognize that the institution is one that operates in a continuum.
Great.
I think that the problem is somehow the assumption that there was Afarijan, he left, so somehow everything in the institutional memory, everything is lost. there was Charlotte say somehow everything is lost, and now we have Jemensa. No, that's not the point. You have nearly 80 software engineers that work for the Electoral Commission. So it just again doesn't add up. I mean, it's almost not a sound thing to say, right? That somehow there's a new administration and so everything must change. No, there's institutional memory with the commission, and we are saying, say, if the argument that some equipment are fallible, we don't befuddle anybody with that. I mean, you buy equipment get problems, you replace them. But the argument that 8,500 plus BVI and BVD devices that we have in this country somehow don't make sense, all of it must be thrown away. It's not true. All the equipment that the commissioner has today were all not bought in 2011. That's equally not true. And so I struggle to understand why all of a sudden that has got to be a justification for which reason we have to throw everything away. Away from that, there's again been numbers around comparing, risks associated with changing of the voter register and all of those anecdotes from 2012 elections, which is what we should have learned from, and not be having this conversation about reform, right? Cleaning of register. In all cases, the recommendation that has come from different stakeholders, and he alludes to them, is that you need to clean the register. We don't say don't clean the register. Nobody said go and buy a new one. If you look at the evidence at the end of it and it suggests to you that, oh, well, you can't do anything completely about it, you throw it away, that's fine. But has the commission put out a report that necessarily justifies that position for people to just see, for the people of this country to see? No. If that report exists, if that report exists from the commission, the Electoral Commission has done some independent assessment of its data systems and has put that publicly for people to vet, to know that this is, then that's fine. But we haven't seen that. That's not there. That's not been done. So that argument, I mean, there's too much anecdotal evidence. The Electoral Commission's own justification for its current assignment that it wants to undertake, that it has put across. Let me read some of them for you. In fact, there's a bullet point of about 11. There are a lot of issues I need to respond to, Kweku. One,
but William, I want us to do this, and I do believe that, guys, we agree. On Monday, we have to come for a second showdown on this. Do we agree?
Well, that's a conversation.
Yes, that's what we have to.
But so let me get to the issues that the commissioner, the commission puts across as justification for which they are doing what they are doing, so that we don't draw in the excesses that people, typically will make based on their political affiliation or political inferences they can make. I get the politics, but this is a very sensitive issue. Purpose-built devices for EC has been in operation since 2011.
Great.
I have just told you documentation from the Electoral Commission, from Ministry of Finance, does not suggest that all of the equipment were bought from 2011. So that cannot be completely accurate. Two, high failure rate of the BVDs. True, you had some failure rate to the BVDs. However, the failure rates have been reducing from 2011 to today. Since you organized the 2012 elections and you have deployed them, you have learned your experiences. In fact, when you even compare the performance now, we have about something around 0.68%, which the Electoral Commission reported. When they compare other countries across the world in terms of failure rate of such technology systems, you are still within safe zones. In some countries, you have in excess of 1.5, 1.2, or even 5%. You are doing 0.68% failure rate of the utilization of the system. So clearly that is a concern, but it's not something that is completely untoward within the technology development and design and implementation. It's not. A lot of money had been spent on refurbishing the systems for use at various elections. Of course, you have spent a lot of money. And it's as a result of these same processes for procurement that we don't go through things properly. That is why we get into these problems. Worn-out sensors, you have manual verification that has been increasing trend due to failure of verification systems. It goes on to say that kits have been used from 2011. Many components and parts have reached end of their useful life. Said by who? The commission? Said by who? Is there an independent audit report that we can all see? Given that some of the equipment were bought in 2011, some were bought in 2016, and some were bought in 2018. Is that the argument? I mean, that argument necessarily can't hold. I've had conversations around the battery life, etc., etc. If battery life for all the equipment we had only 5 hour battery 5 hours to operate, we used these devices only 4 or 5 months ago to organize an election whose failure rate was way better than the elections we have seen in the country before. So again, I still don't seem to understand this rationale that somehow we must draw in inferences that the commissioner herself used as a justification for current exercise really gets into. We haven't even gotten into the issue of procurement to see how procurement systems were even rigged, etc. Let's learn to have debate.
Great.
Not necessarily. I mean, I hear. Let's get to technicalities. I've not seen anything technical.
Great one, Patrick. You fancy was because you ever seen about cases seriously, Imani. You ever some mobile engagement. Peter, just 1 minute now.
You see,
a minute. Yes.
I'm so happy, sir. The Electoral Commission has chosen not to respond to.
But also,
Imani.
I should give them time.
If I were them, I would not even bother, because up to today, the Imani is struggling to make sense of this issue. If you're a critical thinker and you listen to what Imani is saying, you struggle. In fact, the more how they say. But this is the issue, questions people are asking. Look, 2000.
But Imani has raised an issue with regards to the procurement.
No,
Cited the company.
How they say the country cannot spend millions of dollars to buy equipment and throw them away. Throw them away simply because we feel like it.
Great.
This is Shadio.
Sami up, mame.
Shadio. So 100 equipment. And na aircon na dodo na emube 2000 say. Na ehube here say obeto 2000 na. 2000 to buy no, you keep on operating. And now you reach a place. Ehube here say you're going to carry out a national event. And unti who be use equipment now woni nyina de ya.
Sure.
Ebefeli. It doesn't mean that the 2000 na otoye out of the 100 na it doesn't mean say who here say obeto because the 2000 is just insignificant, so minimal.
Sure, Peter, face your money.
Now, can believe you say no?
How's it minimal? You are talking 25% of the total assets that were acquired in a particular year. 8,500. 8,500.
25% of a national event. That is going to produce a president of a nation. And the failure rate.
The point is that even those from 2011, you don't have an independent.
The failure rate is
that's what you are saying.
Just 45 minutes.
You don't have.
The point I wanted to make is this.
Just a second.
2016, when the Supreme Court ordered EC to clean the register and remove all the dead ghosts, the ghost names, EC held a press conference in Accra, and what he told the whole world was that they do not have any means to clean the register.
Great, Peter Fetron. Peter
MP,
aspiring MP for Fijia Kwabre North Constituency, Osansu engineer coming from the diaspora. Patrick Stevenson, head of research, Imani Center for Policy and Education. We send them no meeting called Way Part 1 because in young call the issues now Imani cry raising with regards to procurement. No, my cited the company is a company in credibility challenge. Therefore, Electoral Commission won't even use our company. Well, some emerging reports which is a company now created more South Africa, Omoko bribed the former president Jacob Zuma, a business company in created more Estonia. There was a problem. There's a lot of things associated with this company where Thales Germato. Electoral Commission said they will respond appropriately. We still believe and hope say our response in every way. This is the part 1 of the issue. Pretty shortly I'll be joined with the Kennedy Agyapong now or the same because Sonia Butraka Kramame now membrane and any needing Komobin as for near and Yamana ABC Kubusia. Aha, and I'm a day part 1 or Imani in the Electoral Commission issues and YDBC Nefiasia. So part 2 Yamia Duma Monday 8 minutes said in Yomani City. 46 minutes gone past the hour 9. Ocean Net 2 TV, the show is The Seat with Kweku Anan. A lot of messages. We bring Ewo Honam. Yeah, Beshani Akinkanina Ewa Hase. Oh, can we, Charles Nyakwasi, please, easy should ignore these, no. Christopher Nana Kofi Gogisberg, say, and this is nuisance and a cancer to Ghanaians. They would suffer another humiliation this year. Or say, watching you live from Ireland, Helsinki. My regards to my entry boy Siak, the MP at large. K. Ampemo say, we don't want to see this is already David Paul. Or say, why are you going back and forth with this registration exercise? EC has been mandated to do its work. Imani should think of how they are going to stop this by going to court and sit and talk. Aria, I'll say hi, good evening. Watching you live from Italy, good job. Greet Amens, I'll say we have to support EC. Edward Kwame, I'll say what the guy is saying is not true. It's a lie because you ask him a question, but he couldn't answer, but rather twisted it. Gilbert Bakori, I'll say See, you are clueless. Stephen is far intelligent than you, the host. You have no clue what you are talking about. Okay? Nana Kwekudi will say, can't this gentleman speak simplicity? Is his way of feeling educated or important? Ubisa question. All right. Good evening, Net2 TV. This is Duncan from London, waiting for Honorable Kennedy Agyapong. Direct harsh words. Why do you say that? As far as Bedu Kobi is concerned, sorry, Kobi is full of himself and don't even have any love for Mother Ghana and a lot of issues. All are still. Okay? Yeah. Aha na odi esi e na oko. And one say Electoral Commission is back in the news. And again, looking at all the pointers, minimum say Obe Shakakrase with the fresh issues Electoral Commission is beginning to see.
I was listening.
Great. What do you make of it?
But
I said no. You have to wait. Now, yeah, whisper to.
Not interesting.
Yeah.
But me problem, and he said, if I say me who, Imani for problem. In fact, I met Franklin Kujo.
Recently, eh?
Yeah, Chinese
Restaurant.
hotel.
Joel Hono.
Yeah, Roman Ridge.
Oh, okay.
And all catch him say, almost procurement, figures. In fact, he actually took my number and sent it to me.
I see.
I've gone through it. And my problem, and he said, first of all, they are supposed to be economists, finance, or say, if they have procurement group, fine. First, I want to know from them, the understanding of value for money.
Money, okay.
And two, before I even take them on, I heard the gentleman saying that you cannot register 17 million people in 4 months.
Yeah.
The theory ni free. The theory. Give the EC the chance to do it. If he's not able to do it, then you can say, but you cannot just say that EC cannot do this in 4 months. I don't understand. I don't know where they gathered their information. Omoka say EC cannot register 17 million people in it. My interest is two. One is economical and two is political. My interest in economical, Leini said, if you spend $486 million to do limited registration, and now you are going to spend about, call it a new 200 million, but you call it $200 million to do entire fresh registration. What is your beef? What is your beef? We are all failing to ask questions why NDC is so adamant and bent on say omuma isino enye. Why? There's an ulterior motive. Say they have their own interests, parochial interests, and in their meeting that I have the information, they have to use any means necessary, force especially.
Foul means.
Yeah, to make sure, say, the new register doesn't come on, because if they compile new register, NDC should forget it for the rest of their lives. That is their thinking, that they will never win election.
Oh.
Why are they thinking like that? They are thinking like that because they know they've bloated the register. The gentleman mentioned quite a number of them, but I also remind you, say, Emra a court. What do I say? In 2012, say 2012 election court. It came up, say, Omuko register Ghana for outside. Afarijan is 241,000. 241,000. When they asked Afarijan to produce a Nippana in Iran, he came up with 700.